R&B diva Shirley Jones, lead singer of the Jones Girls. She's up next. Let's talk. What's up, everybody, and welcome back over here to Peppy's Point of View. I'm your host, your R&B historian, Peppy, and let's go ahead on and talk. We're talking about R&B diva Shirley Jones, lead singer of the Jones Girls. That's right, get Shirley on the phone. Call Shirley up and let Shirley know that I'm talking about over here. That's right, R&B diva Shirley Jones. Well, let's dive right into it, okay? Because you know I got a Shirley Jones story. Okay. All right. So here's my Shirley Jones story. Well, if you watch me, then you know, as a child, I loved music. You understand what I'm saying? Like, you should already know. It's my thing, right? And as I was growing up, when I got to the age where I started to be able to purchase music of my own, or I should say, whenever I'm with my mom, and let's just say we're going out wherever we are. If she's going shopping and there I am, I'm in the mall, you should already know I'm going straight to the record store, right? Anywho, long story short, short story long. That's just pretty much it. I didn't even go into the clothing stores or anything like that. I needed to get my music fixed. You understand what I'm saying? So, if you've ever been, and I'm sure you have, sometimes when you go to like these, what we call like the dollar stores, I don't know what kind of dollar stores you guys have, but whenever you go to like the dollar stores, sometimes they will have music, cassettes around, you know, like maybe like in a bin or on the counter, so on and so forth. Like, I don't know, maybe, I don't know where you are in the country, and I don't know if the Dollar General store is all over the, nation or whatever. I'm not sure, but like Dollar General, Family Dollar, the dollar stores. Well, anyway, so one day I just so happened to be in one of these stores. And so there it is. They have like this little small bin of music, in this bin. I was like, okay, let me go just try to check out what, music is in this bin, So there I am looking in the bin, and I come across, and back in the day, like, you don't find it now, but they have like these compilation CDs or cassettes. And so I see a compilation cassette that kind of strikes my interest because it has a variety of music on it, okay? And I'm looking at it, I'm like, okay, let me see some of these songs. And they were like older songs. Long story short story long, I take the cassette home because I'm pretty sure it's probably like $5 or $6 or something like that. So I take the cassette home and I listen to it. All right. And, I don't know. Like I said, I could have been anywhere between 12 and 15 years of age. I put it in, right? And I'm listening to the song, so on and so forth. Long story short, I get to this song, and it says The Jones Girls, right? And so I get to this song, and the title of the song is called You're Gonna Make Me Love Somebody Else, right? Baby, let me tell you, when I heard the beat, when this song first comes on, it just catches me immediately. And I'm like so drawn to this song. And I was like, okay, I like this. You're going to make me love somebody else, Keep on treating me the way you do. I was like, okay, I like this. I like this. So anyway, that's my Shirley Jones story. That's how I came across the Jones Girls. Okay. Now, I was familiar uh, with Shirley Jones's solo album, the lead singer from her solo album called "Do You Get Enough Love." I was familiar with that because if you don't watch me long enough to know, then you already know that, you know, my mother and my uncles and my aunts and my dad, you know, Friday evening and Saturday evening, you better believe they're all getting together and they're playing cards and so on and so forth. You know, it's the weekend and, you know, they chilling and relaxing and doing all those kinds of things. You know what I'm saying? You know, over at the house and cooking and all of that stuff. And so I was the kid, or the child rather, that wouldn't go outside. Like, I am at the card table watching them play cards and looking at them, learning how to, you know, play Pacino and spades, and yeah, they was playing for money and stuff like that. And I remember the song "Do You Get Enough Love" because it would be playing in the background, you know, while they were you know, playing cards and everything like that. So I remember that song. So to my surprise, when I find out that Shirley Jones' "Do You Get Enough Love" is the Shirley Jones of "You're Gonna Make Me Love Somebody Else." So I was like, oh, okay, I'm really digging this. And so that's my Shirley Jones story. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes when I got a story and tell you how I learned about an artist, then that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to tell you, you know, how I discovered Shirley Jones. Well, we're talking about her today, okay? And we are reviewing her Always in the Mood album in 1986. We're going to talk about that album, okay? Shirley Jones is Always in the Mood album. And, you know, stick around so you can find out what, you know, as I said, what I thought about the album and so on and so forth. I mean, it's a great album. It really is. And if you haven't heard it, then of course go out and put it in your playlist, download it. You know, I don't know how people are getting their music nowadays, and it's such a shame, you know, that we no longer have, you know, the music stores that you can actually go in and purchase your cassettes and CDs and whatever. But, you know, hey, it is what it is. You know, that's why, you know, my channel, I want you guys, when I review an artist, okay, these artists, these R&B divas, they're still out recording music and they're performing. And so my goal is to make sure that you guys are aware that these divas are still performing and recording music, and go out and support them. As a matter of fact, now that I think about it, I think I am on Shirley Jones's social media page. One of them. I think I follow her. I think I do. I think it's Instagram, though. I know it's not Facebook. I think I follow her on Instagram. Because I think I know how it happened. In Vogue, the ladies of In Vogue, they were, I followed one of their pages, the In Vogue Craze, and I saw the current lineup of In Vogue, Terry, Cindy, and Rona. They were doing a version of "You're Gonna Make Me Love Somebody Else." And so that, of course, made me want to go over to Shirley's page. And then I started following her page. Anyway, she has a song out called Soul Steppers. Yeah, she has a song out. So you guys go over there and make sure that you support her, you know, in like I said, however you get music nowadays, you know, download it, you know, stream it or whatever you do, purchase it on iTunes or whatever. I'm pretty sure that she'll be happy that you guys did that. But we're talking about right now, Always in the Mood, okay? Shirley Jones. So let's go ahead on and dive right into it, shall we? Okay, and what I'm going to do with this particular segment of my show, you should already know I go back down memory lane. That's right. And so I want to go back down memory lane. And I was like, what do I want to do? Where do I want to go when I, back down memory lane? And then I was thinking about, how can I tie it into kind of like Shirley Jones? And then I decided Philadelphia International Records, baby. And this is the record company that she released her album, Always on in the Mood on. She worked with Gamble and Huff. We're going to talk about some things with that as well. But let's go ahead on and talk about Philadelphia International Records. All right. Of course, you should know it's an American-based record label in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. It was founded in 1971 by songwriter and production duo Kenneth Gamble and Leon Huff, along with their longtime collaborator, Tom Bell, my dude. It was also known for showcasing the Philadelphia soul music scene, also known as Philly Soul, that was founded on the gospel doo-wop and soul music at the time. This sound later marked a prominent and distinct era within R&B music. So during the 1970s, the label released a string of worldwide hits that emphasized lavish orchestral instrumentation, heavy bass, and driving percussion. Some of the most popular and best-selling acts included the OJs, Harold Melvin and the Blue Notes, Teddy Pendergrass, Billy Paul, Patti LaBelle, and Lou Rawls. Between 1971 and the early 1980s, the label released more than 170 gold and platinum records. Philadelphia International Records has been mostly defunct since 1987 and finally shut down in 2001. As of 2007, Sony Music Entertainment owns all the rights to Philadelphia International Records catalog. By the mid-1980s, Philadelphia International Records had ended the distribution deal that they had with Columbia. The label was soon after picked up by Capitol, EMI Records. They continued to make hits, including Shirley Jones's Do You Get Enough Love, but their most successful years were behind them. In the 1990s, Philadelphia International launched a new subsidiary, Uncensored Records, featuring Damon and No Question. The label released hip-hop music. Philadelphia International now largely concentrates on licensing its music catalog worldwide and has issued few new recordings since the mid-1980s when Gamble and Huff wound down their studio work together. In 1989, Gamble and Huff won their first Grammy Award. Oh my gosh. Isn't that something? Simply Red's cover of If You Don't Know Me By Now, which was written by Gamble and Huff, received a Grammy Award for Best R&B Song. I'm going to keep my mouth shut. In 1999, Gamble and Huff were awarded the Lifetime Achievement Award or Lifetime Grammy Award from the National Academy of Recording Arts and Sciences. In 2008, the duo was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Congratulations. In the non-performer category, joining their band, the OJs, who were inducted in 2005. Wow. The reason why I was shocked about a couple of things, first of all, let me just go on and say, I told you sometimes now I'm not even going to keep my mouth shut about certain things. And I'm also not going to play what I would like to call the race car. But the song, If You Don't Know Me By Now, when it finally received a Grammy, Simply Red, don't get me wrong, holding back the years and all that stuff is Simply Red. It's what it is. But to think that a song such as If You Don't Know Me By Now, which Patti LaBelle, I think she has a version of it, and I love Patti LaBelle's version. And coincidentally, it was released on Philadelphia International Records. Hold on, I got to think of these numbers, you guys, these years. So if I'm in Love Again was released in 1983, that album had to come out after? So did the album come out in 1985 with, I think it's titled Patti, and she had a version of If You Don't Know Me By Now? I have to look that up. It was either before or after I'm in Love Again in 1983. Either way, I love Patti LaBelle's version of If You Don't Know Me By Now. And ooh, just listen to it if you've never heard it. Okay, it's kind of like a live version. I love the talk she does at the end. You know, that's the one that really moves me when she starts talking about, you know what, if that turns you off, you ain't worth me anyway. You know, you crack your face, you break your face, you break your legs, you do all these kinds of things to make people notice you in life. And sometimes they just don't try to. And then you get your drag together, you put up your face, you button up your clothes and all that stuff, you put yourself together, and then you find out you're still in trouble. And then you ask yourself, is it worth it? No, it's not worth it. Ooh, baby, I'm here to tell you. That's why I love it. I love that message at the end as she's ending her version of If You Don't Know Me By Now. Woo, I tell you, I think I'm going to play that, you know, when I'm done with this commentary over here on Shirley Brown. Excuse me, Shirley Brown. Maybe I need to do Shirley Brown too. I've already did Shirley Murdoch, Shirley Jones now. I guess I'll do Shirley Brown next as well. So anyway, so that's interesting to see that they finally did a song such as If You Don't Know Me By Now, Harold Melvin and the Blue Notes, Patti LaBelle, and then it gets up to Simply Red, and now it's finally recognized enough to get a Grammy award, a Grammy nomination for Best R&B Song. Interesting. And then how many gold records? 150 or so between what was it, 1970 and 1980? 170 gold and platinum albums. We're gonna have to talk about that too. But anyway, it is what it is, you know. And then inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Just some interesting things, you know, there to discover about Philadelphia International Records, you know. I know we're about to jump right in to this Shirley Jones. We're going to talk about Shirley Jones and all of the things that are related to the album. Okay. Now, I put up this picture of the ladies of the Jones Girls, and I wanted to do this, first of all, to just pay tribute to the other sisters of the Jones Girls. Because if I'm not mistaken, I hope I'm not mistaken when I say this, but I do believe, if I'm not mistaken, that the other ladies, they are no longer with us, right? Right. I do believe that, that they are no longer with us. And so I just wanted to, you know, pay tribute to Valorie and also Brenda. You know, of the Jones Girls. All right. And so that's why I posted that. And also too, just in case anyone probably don't know who these ladies are, you know, if you've never seen them before, then I want you guys, you know, to kind of get an idea of who the Jones Girls are. Now, I don't know who's who. Okay, now I know Shirley is in the middle, but I don't know the other ladies. I'm not quite sure who is who when it comes to you know, this picture. But anywho, so there you have Shirley Jones and her siblings. All right. So let's go ahead on and talk about Shirley Jones, shall we? I should have changed that. I'm sorry. It is what it is. I'm not going to do that. I might put up another picture. All right. Now, sometimes I try to get into my mood, you know, with my R&B divas, right? You know, when I'm thinking about a particular diva and I want to discuss it, the diva and everything, you know, sometimes I kind of like sit on it, you know, and just try to vibe out, you know, all the things Shirley Jones, you know what I'm saying? I'm talking about like in my head as I'm listening to the music, trying to get a vibe, you know what I'm saying? I never owned the Shirley Jones album, and I've never owned any of the Jones Girls music either. So I don't have the privilege of reading the liner notes, like all of those kinds of things that I would kind of know, kind of like who they work with besides Gamble and Huff and so on and so forth. So I don't know anything like that. So as I said, I kind of got to get into my mood, and kind of feel the mood and what I'm thinking and so on and so forth. And I, been trying to post all the videos in my community tab and catch up on those. And Shirley Jones is one of those divas. So I didn't have time as much as I wanted to pretty much sit, and kind of listen to her music all over again, from what the notes that I have now. Okay. So when I think about Shirley Jones and when I think about the Jones Girls, I think you probably know where I'm going. And if you don't, here it is. The sensuality of it all. You know what I'm saying? Like it's the femininity of it. Like when I think of the Jones Girls, I think ladylike. You know what I'm saying? This is just me, just based off, seeing some videos of them in the past, because I've like I said, I am familiar with them now. So to think about them when they were, the group back then, I'm saying like, I think about the emotions in, is it Love Unlimited? But it's pretty much the emotions in the Jones Girls. And when I'm thinking about them, I'm like, have you ever heard the emotions talk? Have you, back in the day when, when they were doing interviews and you would hear them speak, it's like it was so, oh gosh, yes. Anyway, so, but just so soft. That's what I'm getting. Like it's just really, really soft. You know what I'm saying? Like, in the tones of their voices and just all that femininity and all that softness and all that, and I don't know, I'm just thinking like maybe fragrance, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just wondering like, what were they wearing? You know what I'm saying? I'm talking like their perfume, their fragrances, you know what I'm saying? And it's unfortunate in this day and time when we're talking about R&B divas. You don't think class. I'm sorry, like with today's divas, you don't think class. So that's where I'm going with this. I'm thinking about class. I'm thinking about, like I said, sensuality and femininity. And there is sex in that, but it's not like really in your face type of sex, if you will. And so that's how I told y'all, I never know where I'm going, because I never have a plan. Like, this is just me, talking like I would have a conversation with people who I'm talking about music with. And all of a sudden, as I was just talking about this, the title of the album just came into my mind, Always in the Mood, right? Well, you can take that title, Always in the Mood, and you can kind of, what's the word I'm looking at? Kind of play off it a little bit, but I think it's safe to say, it's just me. It's just me. I think it's safe to say, but it's just me. But I think it would be safe to say, for the most part, that it is an album that is about, sensuality and sexuality, and pretty much, kind of like, hey, let's get in the mood, right? You would think that that's what this album is about, and it's definitely that. It's a very sensual album, okay? And so let's go ahead on and dive right into what I think about, well, the individual songs on the album. How about that? Okay, we're gonna go ahead on and do that. All right, let's dive right into it. I don't like this picture, you guys. I'm trying to stay in the, I don't like it. So, anywho. So if I had to ask some questions, to Shirley, what would I ask? I would say, obviously, the obvious question would be, okay, so you transition now. You're no longer in the group with your sister, or you have released a solo project. I guess the first question I would ask is why. What led up to you deciding to release a solo project. And sometimes, you probably get the regular smuggler answer like, well, I just, wanted to do some things on my own, so on and so forth. I haven't really left the group. It's just that this is my solo project because I want to branch out as an artist, so on and so forth. That very well could be, what her intentions were. She never left the group, as most artists would say, and I can't recall the last time that she recorded, the latest of I'm sorry, the Jones Girls. I can't remember the last time they put out an album. And I would like to think that it would definitely have been in the early 1980s, would probably be the last time that they released an album, okay? And I'm looking right here, and I see that they released an album on RCA Records. And then it looks like maybe, so around 1983, 1984, they released an album, their last album, which Shirley Jones's album came out, I believe, in 1986, right? And so who knows, maybe the Jones Girls, career as far as selling records, it kind of, declined. Records probably, sales probably declined for them. And so, she was like, well, let me, take this chance or take this opportunity to see what I can do as a solo artist. All right. But now you also have to realize too, now that I think about it, wasn't the Jones Girls on Philadelphia International Records? Yes, they were. They were on Philadelphia International Records. So if they're already on Philadelphia International Records, it seems like it would be, easy for her to just transition from being with the group. Now she's over, on Philadelphia International as a solo artist. That's possible as well. But I also recall back in the day, way, way, way back in the day, when I was reading an article regarding Shirley Jones. If I'm not mistaken, I think she said that she was working on the album, always in the mood, and I guess looking for material, to record. She heard this song being played. I don't know if Kenny was playing it or Leon was playing it, whoever was playing the song. Either the music was being played, like over the radio, or someone was at the piano playing it. But whatever the case was, the song was initially intended for the OJs. And so whomever she was speaking to about it, the person responded, well, this is for, the OJs, but they don't want it, And so she goes to Leon or Kenny, whichever one, and says, hey, they're turning this song down. I want to record it. And of course, she's given the okay, like, hey, if you want to record it, fine, that's, on you. And of course, we get the song, Do You Get Enough Love? And I think that song went to #1 for like 3 weeks in a row or something like that. And it was a big hit for her. And I'm so glad that, and I'm sure she's glad she recorded it as well. But here's the thing. When you think about a song such as Do You Get Enough Love, you definitely do get that OJ sound, like, darling, darling baby. You get that vibe. So I'm trying to figure out, like, what were the OJs thinking, like, not wanting to record Do You Get Enough Love? And the only thing that I could think of, just me personally on the top of my head, sometimes artists, they get in that mind frame of saying, man, I don't want to sing another one of these songs. So it's probably not the fact that it was a bad song to them. It probably was like, hey, we're going to sing another one of these songs. Like, come on, give me a little bit something different. So hopefully that was the case, that they decided to do that. And so, of course, it was a big hit for her. And I'm not quite sure about, album sales, but I would like to think that if Shirley Jones had a song that was #1 on let's just say the R&B charts for 3 weeks, I would like to think at best that the single Do You Get Enough Love, I would like to think, fingers crossed, it should have been at least a gold single for her. I don't know about the album, sales, but I would like to think that at least a single would have been a gold single for her. And who knows, maybe she has a gold album. Always in the Mood as a gold album. Maybe, maybe not. I'm not quite sure. But again, it did what it was supposed to. I mean, guess what it was supposed to do for her. So, Always in the Mood. Do You Get Enough Love? That's the first song that if I heard the album in its order, that would be the first song on the album. And it's a great song. However, I'm going to kind of jump all over the place. But I'm not quite sure if, in fact, Always in the Mood, Do You Get Enough Love should have been the first song on the album. Which leads into something else that I want to bring up when it relates to Shirley Jones. And I'm at the 30-minute mark, which means, you know what, hey, this might be an hour video. For an artist such as Shirley Jones, I guess I would ask her, the next question would be, how was you feeling transitioning from, a group dynamic, right, over into your solo career? Sometimes some people is a little nervous, and sometimes they're not. And I'm pretty sure she would probably say, well, I'm pretty kind of nervous because, I always have my sisters on my side and so on and so forth. But, I get comfortable. The more I do it, the more comfortable I get, with being on the stage by myself. I'm assuming that's what she would say. But then I would ask the next question to her would be, like, when you're choosing material for this album, what were you thinking? Like, what kind of direction did you all want to go in with this album? This is why I bring this question up. Like, if I had to ask her this question, this is why I bring this question up. I bring this question up because the thing that I like most about a group such as the Jones Girls, right? Like, they have great success with up-tempo music as well as slow music. Right? Sometimes it's kind of difficult for, reverse that. Some artists, they would do great with up-tempo songs only. And then you have some who would do great with, slow songs or mid-tempo songs only, right? And so with an artist such as Shirley Jones transitioning from her group dynamic to a solo dynamic, I'm not bracing myself saying what it's going to sound like or what it's going to be like, because I know she does well with both. You see, and she has a fan base with both audiences, right? And so when you get a song like Do You Get Enough Love and you hear it, then you think about a song such as Who Can I Run To? They are pretty much neck and neck, right? You're not losing that artist or that fan base. And I'm so glad when it came to her doing her solo album that she didn't alienate that audience, with that song, Do You Get Enough Love? But here's what I was about to say. There's a song at the end, two songs at the end of this album. I think one is called Surrender. And there's another song called Caught Me Off Guard. And the thing that when I hear the entire record, I feel like the album is it's uneven in that I would like to think that a song such as Surrender would probably be placed be number one on the first track on the album. And it seems as if these two songs are pretty much the up-tempo songs on the album. So I will place one at the first track. The first track will be Surrender, and then the track in the middle of the album would be Caught Me Off Guard. But either way, it's still great. It's just that by the time you get to the end of the album and you've heard kind of like all this slow stuff, in my head, I'm wondering like, okay, why all of a sudden are we picking up tempo? Like, I mean, after all of this, I want to just go ahead on and slow it out, but, for whatever reason, they decided to put the faster tracks or the up-tempo tracks towards the end. That's the only issue that I have with this album. And so then you have the next song on the album It's called Breaking Up. Now, it's kind of hard for me to kind of get into the feel of this track, and it's not in a negative way. You know, if you watch me long enough, then you know that I'm always trying to feel out how the diva I'm listening to compares to other divas and what's going on. And I have to honestly say, 1986, 85, 83, 84, 82, 81, and 80, they're not my strong areas when it comes to R&B divas. It's just not my strong suit. So I'm trying to figure out who I can compare her to as I'm listening to this album as a solo female artist. And at this moment in time, the only divas that I can think of would be Sherelle or Melissa Morgan. And again, what I like most about this song, Breaking Up, again, that sensuality that you get from Shirley Jones, I just love it. And here's the thing that I also like about it. I don't know, this is just me, I could be wrong. I don't know. I don't think anyone in the I don't think the producers are, saying to her, all right, Shirley, let's be a little sensual with this. You see what I'm saying? I don't know. It just kind of, I hope it just flows for her like that. You understand what I'm saying? Like, to me, it's not forced, but it could be, sometimes producers say, this is what I want, you to sound like on these records. So again, the sensuality definitely shows forth on Breaking Up. And I hate to say it, it does put me in the mind of the Emotions as well. Then the other song that I'm thinking about is Last Night, I Needed Somebody. I remember this song. I remember this song as a child, again, at the card table, standing over everybody, watching them, throw cards and, money and everything, so I'm just sitting up there and I hear the song Last Night, I Needed Somebody. So I remember this song from all of the card parties and the barbecues back in the day. And I like it. I wish it would have did better for her on the charts, though. But I don't think it did as well as the other song. What is it? Do You Get Enough Love? It probably was like in the R&B top 40 or whatever for her. Then you have another track on the album called She Knew About Me. Now, the thing about Philadelphia International Records is that, they had Patti LaBelle, right? Now they have Shirley Jones, and they eventually will have, Phyllis Hyman, if she's not already on the label recording. But this is 1986, right? So if this is 1986, then Phyllis Hyman is already over there, right? Because in 1986, doesn't Phyllis Hyman release her album? Yeah. Phyllis Hyman releases her album over there as well. Living All Alone in 1986. So Phyllis Hyman is over there as well. So sorry about that. Guys, I can get a little off sometimes. So She Knew About Me. When I'm listening to this song, I don't know. I'm thinking about Phyllis Hyman. I'm saying this is a great Phyllis Hyman song. This is definitely a Kenneth Gamble production. And I don't know. I'm just loving it. I love She Knew About Me. And then you get to the song Always in the Mood, which is an upbeat song. And if, in fact, you're looking for, you're going to make me love somebody else. If you're listening to Always in the Mood and you're wondering, okay, where's my You're Going to Make Me Love Somebody Else track? I would say this track, Always in the Mood, is definitely You're Gonna Make Me Love Somebody Else track on the album. And then the next track is a song called I'll Do Anything for You. This song should have been placed higher on the track listing. It should have been like 1 through, I don't know, 4. It should have been higher. I think the last 3 songs, as I said before, are not placed properly on the album. But it's a good listen. I like it. And of course, the up-tempo songs Surrender and Caught Off Guard, track 7 and 8, are definitely great songs, up-tempo songs I like as well. And speaking of Shirley Jones's recent single, Soul Stepping, something like that, the song Breaking Up is definitely a stepper song. It's definitely a stepper song. I can see Breaking Up being a stepper song as well. It's just how I feel about it. It's what it is. So overall, in general, the Shirley Jones album, Always in the Mood, is a great album. I like it a lot. Now with me learning about what Philadelphia International Records was going through at the time, I was about to ask another question like, why did you not do a follow-up album after this? And it looks as if Philadelphia International Records were, pretty much kind of closing up shop in a roundabout sort of way, at this time. And eventually they continued, though, to work with Phyllis Hyman, and Phyllis Hyman had her Prime of My Life. It's over here somewhere. Prime of My Life. Was it Zoo Records? Prime of My Life? I don't know. But anyway, I think it was Zoo Records. Prime of My Life. It's around here somewhere, you guys. Well, anyway. So I don't know why they continue to work with Phyllis Hyman and maybe not Shirley Jones. It's interesting. It's just interesting sometimes, how one diva will put out a record and I don't know. It's just what it is. I'm not going to bring that back up. But anyway, so tell me what you think. Go out, listen to Shirley Jones's album, Always in the Mood. A great, great, great album. It really is. Also, she's performing. Go out and check out her performances. As I said, go follow her on social media. And this is pretty much where I end my commentary. And so on that note, if you made it this far in my commentary, then you know what? Go ahead and hit the like button, the subscribe button, leave a comment, all of that stuff. If you made it to this point in my commentary, and I appreciate you guys for all your love and your support, and I hope you feel it coming right back at you. And I just want to remind you guys that whenever I leave my mother's presence, she always says to me, she says, baby, remember, I love you, but God loves you best. And I look forward to seeing you next video. And also remember to put your behind where your heart desires to be. And until then, you all take care of yourselves out there. All right.